Hey everyone, welcome to the God Made Self-Driven podcast. This is your host, Dustin. This podcast explores the transformative powers of faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun through the lives of everyday people. We're rooted in a Catholic worldview. However, we welcome all people from different backgrounds and faith beliefs through the spirit of unity, curiosity, and inspiration. And so honestly, today I'm excited. I have a friend, or better yet, a new friend. His name's Ross Cockrell. Hopefully I said that correct. He's a brother. He's a man of God, and he's also a Super Bowl champion. Well, what he don't realize is I'm a Super Bowl champion too. I don't know if you can see all my hardware. That's something he's gonna learn about today. But no, man, there's so much more to this guy than just being an athlete, and I can't wait for y'all to, to hear more about it. And so, without further ado, I want to welcome my friend Ross. What's up, my man?
Good to be here, Dustin. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. You excited?
I'm super excited. We're in the home studio today.
Yeah, man. We actually in Abbeville, Louisiana, where I was born and raised, and we'll maybe get to some of that through Ross's journey. But I know we talked about before we started, you wanted kind of to honor the man that helped get you here, and so let's kind of start with a prayer.
Yeah.
All right. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Amen. Father God, I just want to thank you for this time with Ross. I want to thank you for all the people that are involved in creating this episode and making it what you wanted to make it and not what we wanted to make it. So God, we ask that your Holy Spirit flood this place, guide our heart, minds, and souls, so maybe we can speak about what you want us to speak about and really try to guide our lives and others through the words of our testimonies. So God, we just want to thank you for this moment, and we're grateful for all the gifts that you've given us. We're grateful for the obstacles, and we're grateful for the doors that are opening now that we don't even know. And we offer this up in your Son, Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, my man. Well, I already told you about. Let me put this on the side. This might be distracting to you. You know what I mean?
It is a big trophy.
This might be distracting.
Yeah,
So let me go ahead and put this hardware on the side.
That's got some history to it, though.
Man, more than you know. More than you know.
Not the Acadiana Super Bowl champ.
Yeah. Passing leader of the year, by the way.
Watch out, Walker Howard.
Yeah. Points leader of the year, by the way.
Basketball or football?
Football, man.
All football, everything.
All football, baby. All football. No, but all right, I kind of told them, you were a Super Bowl champion and whatnot. I'm not going to tell them what team. I'm not going to tell them what year. I'm going to let you do that. But before you were this great athlete, before your journey to Louisiana, you was a son, a brother, and a young man in the community. So just share with us, man. How did you get to Louisiana? Start from the beginning and just let's go from there.
Oh, from the very beginning?
From the very beginning.
Well, I was born. I was born in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
But my mom is from Louisiana. My dad is from New York. Big city slicker.
Yeah.
He likes to dress nice. That's my guy. He dresses nice and he works hard. Right. That's where a lot of my work ethic came from. It came from my dad, and it came from watching my mom and watching my grandfather when I would come down here to Carencro. And visit for the summers or for the winter time during the holidays. We would come down twice a year.
Okay.
I have two sisters. They were both born in San Francisco in California. One is a lawyer. My middle sister's a lawyer. And my baby sister is a silver medalist, Olympic champion in the 400 hurdles. And she just competed this past Olympics in Paris. Okay. She's going to Tokyo, getting ready to compete again in the World Athletic Championships. So a lot of people look at our family, you say, hey, you got one son, or they'll ask my parents this, and I get it secondhand. But they'll say you have one child that's, a football player. You have another daughter who played Division I volleyball at Davidson and is now a lawyer. You have another daughter who is, went on to, she was one of the best track runners in high school when she came out, went to a big time program at USC, and is now doing her thing on the world stage. So people will look at the family or ask my parents, say, wow, you guys are just such great athletes. And, like you said, one of the things that people, I guess, maybe take for granted or don't really realize is everything. I mean, just like when you have your team and you're putting it together to make this thing go, there was so much love, faith, dedication, diligence, discipline, fun there was so much of that was in my childhood, that allowed my sisters to really grow up and flourish. And a lot of that came from time that I spent here in Louisiana. And I got family on my dad's side too, Virginia, New York, Colorado. Loved them to death. Loved them to death. I don't want to, I don't want to shade anybody.
Yeah, no doubt.
But the work ethic that I saw my grandparents put in, knowing that they faced historical challenges. My grandfather was born in the early 1930s. My grandmother was born a little bit later in the late 1930s. And when you think about that time period and what was going on, it's still a gravel road on the farm that they started, that that my grandfather was raised on, and that he was able to take over from his dad, and has now passed on to the family. So you're looking at about 100 years of history, in that one little gravel road on that one little plot of land.
And that's in what?
That's in Karen Crow, Louisiana.
Wow.
I'm just north of Lafayette. For whoever may not know, whoever may be watching this outside of Louisiana, because I know when you're in the boot, you know everything that's going on around here.
Right.
But Karen Crow was one of those places that when I first came down, I was coming from California.
Oh, wow.
I was coming from big city San Francisco, right? Complete different. And my very first memories here are rolling down this dark gravel road, no street lights, no, just field. Field and a couple houses spotted out here and there. And you would roll down this dark gravel road, and in the doorway, it didn't matter what time we were getting, it was usually a little bit later, coming from wherever it is that we were coming from. And there was my grandmother, my mama, sitting in the doorway. It didn't matter what time. She would sit in that doorway. She had a big smile. She was a large woman. She'd give you a big hug. There was just warmth, joy. What do you want to eat? Sit down, be comfortable, my baby. Just welcome home. And then my grandfather, you'd walk in, and he would be sitting there at the kitchen table. And he just had this deep voice, accent, couldn't understand him, scared me to death. He would shake my hand. He had these big, we joke about it, but he had these just big, like cow whipping hands, just rough. Like he feel like he could take down a bull at any time. He wasn't a large man, but his hands, you could tell you could tell he worked. And so those are my earliest memories here, is coming down, feeling with warmth and joy. But also seeing that there's another side to it too. It's not just all party, all fun. There's a deep work ethic that needs to be done.
Awesome. So you visiting, you coming in every now and then to Louisiana, and so where are you going to school at? We're in LA. Where are we?
Yeah, I'm in California. So I moved around a little bit as a child. Born in Michigan, moved to California, moved to North Carolina, spent the majority of my childhood in North Carolina. Right. North Carolina is not so much different than Louisiana. Charlotte has, the city that I was raised in, Charlotte, has definitely grown a lot in the last 10 years. But when my sisters were coming up, when I was coming up, it still was a pretty small town. So like a quick story, like a place that is like hustle and bustle right now in Charlotte used to be a gravel road. Anybody that might be watching from Charlotte, it's Blakeney now, but that used to be a gravel road, and we taught my sisters how to ride bikes down there on that gravel road. And I was able to see how the city grew and developed. It just never stopped. There was, professional sports teams. Obviously, the Carolina Panthers. I was happy to play for them for a couple of years. It wasn't the greatest run, but it was good to be part of the hometown team.
Well, speaking of football, so you're in South Carolina. You're going to school in Charlotte. When did you realize that football? When did that come into your life? When did you realize football was going to be part of the plan?
Football was always part of my life.
All right.
There was never a doubt in my mind. I still have old baby pictures. My first bottle was a football bottle. I remember growing up in San Francisco. One of the best gifts my dad ever got me was this full, complete 49er set, complete with uniform, pants, shoulder pads, helmet. And as soon as I was probably about 5 or 6 years old. And as soon as he got that gift for me, I put it on right away. I was running routes. I was doing it. And my dad's an old wide receiver. He's got the coach's gene in him. So we would just spend hours catching the football, throwing the football. Sometimes it was some tears. My dad's a disciplinarian,
Yeah.
and sometimes there was some tears because little kids don't always want to do that
100%.
stuff. Um, but that was just one of those things where there was never a doubt. Football was a part of my life, and then especially on my dad's side of the family, he has about 5, 6 brothers,
Okay.
and we got a bunch of cousins, and that's what we did. We competed with each other. We played football. We raced. We played basketball. At the time, 2 of my uncles were living down the street from each other, literally down the street, like 4 or 5 houses down. And we would go and we would race from one house to the next, or who could throw the ball the farthest, in the field or something like that. It's competition in football and family were, that was the foundation of everything.
Awesome. So you get into high school, must have had, some good Pee Wee football experiences and whatnot. So how was that? Like, you did high school in South Carolina,
Yeah, I
or
was in North Carolina. I was in
North Carolina?
Charlotte.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
North Carolina.
It's really one state, really. It is. But yeah, I was in North Carolina. Obviously started playing tackle football. I was about 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
I was a real small guy. It took me a long time to develop.
Okay.
So when I first started playing football, I couldn't even meet the weight requirements to play tackle football.
Oh, wow.
So I had to wait a few years until I got a little bit older and picked up some weight. But yeah, I started playing flag football, and then my first time actually playing tackle football, I was a tight end, and I was a big crybaby, man. I was just, anybody hit me too hard or they hit me the wrong way, I just burst into tears right away. One of my earliest memories playing tackle football, I was probably about 8 or 9 at the time, and they had a guy that had been playing for a while, and he was a running back, and they just lined him up, and we just went straight head to head. And he ran me clean over. And I just woke up, tears all in my face. They just dusted me off and said, "You're gonna be all right." But anyways, long story short, they put me at tight end. They knew I wasn't the most physical. I wasn't the biggest. They put me at tight end, but we had a play that was a tight end reverse.
Oh.
That was my play. A tight end reverse. We line up our receiver on the other side, and nobody would, see me coming around, and I get the ball from the quarterback. And the first time we ran in the game, to the house. To the house. First time in the game. They didn't know me from anybody. We were just moving to Charlotte from California. My dad was working in banking. We were kind of the family from the other side of the tracks that was coming around. And they didn't know. And neither did I. But once they put that ball in my hand, the show was on.
Come on, man.
The show was on. And ever since then, I started playing running back after that. My next year, played running back. Kept playing running back all the way through until I got to middle school. Like I said, I was never really the biggest guy. So once I got to middle school, I started playing more receiver, more cornerback, still a little bit of running back because I was a pretty good athlete. And then once I got to high school, I didn't even start playing varsity football until I was a junior, just because of, I just wasn't that physically right. Some of those boys were putting me in the dirt.
Yeah, 100%. It's a real thing.
They were putting me in the dirt, and I had this one coach. Once I got to be in 11th grade, I had this one coach who really just took me aside, and it was like, "Hey, like, you have all the gifts and the talents if you want to play college football."
Yeah.
And at the time, that was the goal, to play college football. Obviously, the NFL is what you see every Sunday, what I saw every Sunday. Me and my dad would we would sit down and watch football, not all day Sunday, but definitely for a big part of the day. Monday Night Football, we'd have this thing. He would get a bunch of helmets for me, right? So he would travel a lot for work, so he would always bring back a helmet from the team that was, until I had all 32.
Wow.
And Monday Night Football, I don't know if they don't do this anymore, but they used to have the graphic where the helmets clash.
Yeah.
And right, I had to go to bed. I couldn't watch the whole game, but I could watch the opening
clash.
The opening clash, and I would go run and get my helmets. And I would go sit with my dad, and when they would show the graphic, "Are you ready for some football?" I was ready for that. I would get my helmets and I would bang them together, and so football was always part of it. Faith, when you get into the faith part of it, that came, not to say that we didn't go to church or anything like that. We were raised in a Baptist church, in a pretty big church out there. But my personal journey really started once I got to college, and we had a coach who a strong Catholic, David Cutcliffe,
Yeah.
a strong Catholic.
Well, hold on.
And
Before you get there,
okay.
let's see how did you get to college? So you didn't start starting or varsity to a junior year. Most people say, man, you're 2 years behind if you're trying to get to college. So what did you do in those 2 years to get to the next level that quick?
I think I hit puberty finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a little while. So I think I hit puberty in between my 10th and 11th grade year.
Okay.
And it just, I mean,
The body caught up with the talent.
my body changed. I was just, I never stopped in the weight room. I mean,
Yeah.
I worked as hard as I could.
Yeah.
I mean, I would ride my bike 'cause my mom couldn't always bring me. My dad would be
Yeah.
working. So summer workouts, I would ride my bike to school for summer workouts. I mean, I don't know, maybe it was
Yeah.
4 or 5 miles, maybe a little bit longer than that. But I would ride my bike to summer workouts. I would ride back. It didn't matter. Like I just felt like there was nothing that was going to stop
Yeah.
me from pursuing my dream. Didn't matter if I was big, small, fast, or slow. There was just something in my heart that just kept saying, keep going, keep going. And don't, and I had a bunch of friends who were basketball players. Basketball is a pretty big sport in North Carolina. You have Chapel Hill, you have Duke,
Yeah.
right? And everybody knows about that Tobacco Road rivalry.
Yeah.
And long story short, I didn't know Duke had a football team. So as I'm going through my high school and I'm getting bigger, I'm getting stronger, I was at a small private school.
Okay.
My 11th grade year, we had one of the best teams in the state.
What's the name of the school?
Charlotte Latin School.
Charlotte Latin. All right.
Small private school was not, just not a lot of talent was rolling through there. We got a couple NFL, NBA players.
Yeah.
But on that team in particular, we definitely had two NFL players on that team.
Wow.
Me and another wide receiver. His name was Brenton Burson, and we had 5 or 6 Division I athletes. And you're talking about coming from a school where only you had 190 people in a
Yeah,
class.
that's not heard of.
That was pretty big back then. So my 11th grade year, we had a really good team. We had a quarterback that was the player of the year in the state named Braden Hansen. He ended up going to Chapel Hill. I mean, he was everything. So we didn't lose a game that year. We had a bunch of talent, and by the time I got to 11th grade, I was ready to show out.
Yeah.
And the way God had it, we had tremendous talent all the way around.
Yeah. Perfect storm.
It was a perfect storm moment. We ended up being the number 1 team in the city. I don't know if we were the number 1 team in the state that year.
Yeah.
But 2008, we were the number 1 team in the city. And then the receiver that I mentioned earlier, Brenton Burson, he was starting to get some looks. He was a senior, so he kind of blossomed a little late also, but he was a senior. He was starting to get some looks. We had the quarterback who was, killing. So you had Chapel Hill coming, Wisconsin, Notre Dame. You had all these schools coming, and you can see, wow, like this dream is real. I just have to keep doing my thing, keep putting in the work, stay faithful, all that, and I mean the stars just aligned. So I ended up getting 1 scholarship offer for Division I. And I got that offer as the team, they were looking at that other receiver. He ended up playing for the Carolina Panthers too for a few years.
Wow.
But they were looking at Burson. Burson ended up not going with them and going with another school. But they saw me on his tape.
Come on.
And they saw me on the tape. And at that time, like I said, I didn't even know Duke had a football team. They were that bad of a program. You talking about 0 and nothing, like 0 and 12, 1 and 11, 2 and whatever, just for decades.
Yeah.
And ironically, I had a Duke football helmet, but when you don't see him on TV and you don't, and all you see is basketball, and it's and I mean, even now, still today, I'll meet people and say, or they'll say to me like, "Oh, I'm a Duke fan. I'm a Duke fan." I'm like, "Really? Duke football?" Oh, no.
Just golf, basketball.
Just basketball, lacrosse,
Yeah.
One of those other major sports. Women's basketball, there'll be women's basketball fans. We have a pretty good soccer team this year. So, but you'll hear all kinds of stuff, not football. I think that's starting to change now a little bit
Oh,
with
definitely.
with the way the
Their branding
program
is definitely going up.
is going up big in a big way.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to Coach Diaz. I'm
There you go.
shameless plug.
There you go. Throw it in, baby.
Shout out to
I'm a
Coach
Duke fan.
Diaz.
JJ Redick back in the day. That
Yeah,
was-
there you go, Duke basketball
oh
fan.
yeah, Duke basketball fan. Shane Battier. Oh yeah. And we had a guy. I can't remember his name, but from Louisiana that played for Duke. Brandon maybe something. I can't remember though. But yeah, he's a little older than us.
A basketball player.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of talent,
Yeah.
that was going out there.
Yeah.
And so at the time, Duke was
Offered you something. Yeah.
yeah, they were my only offer.
Yeah.
I received the offer from UVA, from University of Virginia. I went up to camp and they pulled the offer from me. They said I was too small. Which, you know, that was
Whatever, yeah.
part of the journey, part of the
Yep.
story. And once I got that offer from Duke though,
Come
and
on.
made the commitment,
It's over.
it was over with. It was over with.
And I just want to highlight for the dads and the sons and the daughters out there there's an old saying, if you good, they will find you.
They will.
If you good, they will find you. Stop putting pressure on yourself to be at this 5A high school or this prestigious high. If you good, they will find you. So I like to just say that, man. So many parents get pressured to put their kid in this program, that program. I'm not saying it doesn't help, but this is a testament. You don't know the end of the story, but he does become a Super Bowl champion. And so, like, when you good, they will find you. So I just want to highlight that.
But that's the
They need to
reality.
know that,
Especially when you can shine. I mean,
Yeah.
and you think about the NFL. The NFL is built on finding diamonds in the rough.
Come on.
That's what every storyline you see is.
The Belichick way.
Yeah, exactly. The Belichick
in a
way,
way.
or finding. I mean,
Yeah.
I played with a guy, Fred Jackson III. He was a running back at Buffalo. I got drafted to the Bills. I don't want to jump too far ahead,
No,
but
you're good.
he was a Division III player.
Yeah.
Division III, you know, out of nowhere, and he played longer than me. He played for like 15 years, and he was the man in Buffalo. He would run down that hill, Freddie.
And there's so many young people now that are like, I'm not going to Division III. What? You might. People will tell you. Man, people will say, just go to work. You don't go to Division III. Just go back. Just go to work. Don't just get a job. Man, you don't know.
You have and
Just
that's
give yourself a shot.
give yourself a shot and follow your dream.
Yeah.
Follow your dream and trust in your work ethic, trust in God, trust in the path that's laid out before you. And if that's the door you're supposed to walk through, those doors are going to open.
Yeah.
Those opportunities are going to come around. Just like for me, that Duke opportunity, I had no idea that it would lead to all the positive, beneficial things that it's led to.
All right. So you get to Duke, riding high on the scholarship and whatnot. So what's up? How's Duke?
I get the Duke riding high on a scholarship, and we got a program to build. We have a program to build.
So you telling me y'all suck?
Oh, we were bad.
No,
we were bad. And like I said, man,
Yeah.
Duke
Not the school.
football was not a thing.
I know.
It was not a thing at all. And Coach Cutter just got there, and it was time to, he was coming from SEC, and he's like, no, we're gonna build this thing up. So first year I redshirted. Like I said, I wasn't, I keep saying it. I was not the biggest guy. I came into college $160 soaking wet. The program now is probably at a point where they probably would not have even recruited me. That's just how far the program's come in the last 10, 15 years.
Wow.
They might not have recruited me. I mean, maybe they would have, but it's almost at that point. I look at the guys and the level of competition, and that's also just with this NIL thing. Everybody's just better. Everybody is better, bigger, better at their techniques, at a younger age, 16, 17 years old. But you get to Duke, I redshirted first year. And that's heavy in the weight room. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Depending on if we had an away game or not. And I mean, that was first thing in the morning. So 7 a.m., you got to be locked in. You got to go. We were a morning practice team, dressed and ready. 7 a.m. on Tuesday through Friday. And then we would have to do our secondary lifts in the afternoon, whether that was after class or whenever. And so that first year was just grind. grind and eat as much as possible.
Peanut butter sandwiches, protein drinks,
Protein
rice,
drinks,
noodles.
And I was a picky eater too. So I will say this, like, it was when you're young, you can really eat anything. So it was Chick-fil-A, lots of Chick-fil-A, a lot of protein shakes, obviously the peanut butter jelly, whatever we had on campus. I think we had a Panda Express, we had a Subway. So it wasn't like I was eating the best, but
you were eating
whatever it took to put on the weight.
Yeah.
Because you realize that these guys, it's the real deal.
It's some grown men.
It's some grown men out there. I redshirted the first year. Second year, I'm a starter, redshirt freshman.
Okay.
And it was a competition beforehand to see who was going to be, who the starting corner is going to be. Thank God that I won that competition.
Yeah.
I had some size and gifts and things like that I think helped me beat out the other guys. And our third game we played Alabama. So this is my third, and this is like real deal Alabama.
Yeah, that's saving Alabama.
This is saving Alabama in like Mark Ingram is a starting running back. He had just come off the Heisman. It was his first game back.
Oh, no.
They had Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy was a third string running back. He ended up being NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Trent Richardson, right? So you're talking about
gorilla.
Yeah, there wasn't. Trent Richardson ran a kickoff back, to open up the second half or something. But this is my first game. This is my third game. Third game of the season as a starter.
Wow.
Julio Jones. It was just, you can just go down the list. Yeah. They had about 10 first round picks on that team, whether that's offense or defense.
Yeah.
Just in that backfield alone, they had 3 first round picks. But yeah, Marcel Darius, who ended up being a top 5 pick, Mark Barron. So that was my third game, and I realized then that I could play.
Come on.
That's when the light switched. That
what position you played?
I was playing corner. Okay. I was playing defense. And I came up. They threw a screen to Julio Jones, and he like just picked me up and threw me to the side. All right. Okay. All right. Like, that guy was different, but for the most part, I was on him. Besides that one play, all right, I was on him. They had another receiver, Leonard Hankerson. I'm in the end zone. And this was like kind of trial by fire stuff.
Yeah.
He ended up catching a touchdown on me, but I was on him. And so we're in the film session afterwards. Obviously, we got blown out. Like, it wasn't. They were number 1 team, and we were Duke football at the time.
Right.
Yeah, we were developing. We were building a program.
That's right.
So they ended up blowing us out. I don't even remember what the score was. And
a lot to a little.
It was a lot to a little. It was. But we're in the film session afterwards, and I just remember my coach's positive reviews. The locker room can be one of those places where, or the coaching meeting room can be one of those places where you just have a bunch of boys and men that are just, talking to each other crazy and being loud 100%. Or all that stuff. But in this moment where you think you're about to get ripped, you have, a coach just said, hey, like, listen, we're going to go over this tape and we're going to see, there were a lot of mistakes, but there were some really positive things, and just sat me down and made sure that I knew, like, you're right there. Keep on going, keep on going. And that's one of the things that I'll say about my faith journey, that whole just keep going thing, it's just been a model that I've just lived by. Never stop, never take no for an answer. Yeah. And it goes all the way back to my father and my grandfather. My father wasn't raised by his father, but he was determined. He was determined to be a good father. That was his thing. That was he was going to use that life lesson and make sure that he didn't repeat that. He was going to use that as a means to better himself and better his family. I got to see it with my grandfather. Barely a 6th or 7th grade education. We can go through the whole history of Jim Crow, of segregation. We can go through that whole history, but that was never a crutch for him. Never a crutch. It was always, I'm going to go get it. I'm going to. And that's one of the stories that he shared with me when he came to campus. This is my senior year. I know I'm fast forwarding a little bit, but this is my sophomore, junior year. I've been starting for a couple years now. Things are going well. It's looking like, hey, you might have a chance at the NFL. So I'm walking around campus like a big shot. and my grandfather came to visit me for a game.
He saw the aura around you.
He saw the ego developing.
Yeah, that's what I meant by aura. I didn't wasn't gonna say it though.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say it.
He saw the ego developing, and we were walking around campus and all this, and he said, "Hey, young man, remember this. Remember when I was your age, I couldn't even come on this campus. Get your education." That was his whole thing. No matter when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, or as I got to be an older man, education was his thing. Yeah, you can be a great athlete. Yeah, you can do all these other wonderful things.
Yeah.
But that stuff is gonna fade. That's gonna fade. So where's your faith at, and where's your mind at? Where don't lose your spirit, and don't lose your brain. Don't lose your mind. Keep those things. Protect those things. Treasure those things, and allow whatever else happens outside of that to benefit those things. So yeah, I mean, he was a 6th, 7th grade education kind of guy. I only saw him write rarely. I rarely saw him write. I know he could write. I know he could read and write, obviously, but he didn't do much of it.
Simple living.
Yeah, that was part of his story. Neither my grandmother. Wow. Not to say that they couldn't read and write. Maybe they could, maybe they couldn't.
Yeah.
But the life skills, the faith, the work ethic, it was that propelled them through, and they weren't going to let anything be a crutch.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. So whether it was from my father or my grandfather, I knew. And so going back to that story, my grandfather, walked with me on campus and said, "Young man, hey, remember that when I was your age, I couldn't be on this campus at all." Wow. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Duke didn't have his first black player until the 1970s. Right?
1970?
Into the 1970s.
Not that long ago.
It's not that long ago at all. And now we can celebrate, great athletes, and and no matter what, no matter where they come from, it's still sometimes you get that race stuff coming in, but for the most part, it's just we can celebrate greatness for what it is.
Yeah, regardless.
Regardless. So get my education, make sure I graduate. He didn't care. I mean, yeah. Does he love football? Does he love sports? Yeah, but he was like, yeah, just make sure that with all this other stuff you got going on, that your mind and your spirit are taken care of.
So that was a pivotal moment.
Pivotal moment in college.
Yeah.
And realizing too that no matter how far you go, there's still those roots that need to be watered and taken care of at all time. Doesn't matter if I'm going to play in New York with the Giants and it's Odell Beckham and it's Eli Manning and you get some of these big names, or I'm in Pittsburgh and it's Ben Roethlisberger or Antonio Brown or some of these other big names that are coming, James Harrison. When I played in Carolina with the Panthers, you're playing with Cam Newton, Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, future Hall of Famers, things like that. Obviously, when I played in Tampa Bay and we won the Super Bowl, right? I'm playing with
don't spill the beans yet. Don't wait.
But all those things, no matter where you go, remember
your roots.
Remember that it took a lot of people, a lot of prayer, and just a lot of faith for me to be able to do any of these things. Okay. And it's beyond me. It's before me. All these things were set in stone before I was even right. So
even got there.
Before I was even thought of or conceived. My grandparents made a sacrifice. They took land to buy. They took money to buy to purchase
the land in Carencro,
to purchase the property in Carencro that my grandfather was raised on. That was a big sacrifice. That was almost grounds for divorce in their life. But they had a vision, they had a dream. And no matter what, he knew that this was going to be beneficial to the family in the future. And I laugh about it, but my grandfather was probably the first real estate agent in our family. Because he made that purchase and he probably bit off. Well, not probably, he did. He bit off more than he could chew. And he ended up selling off little bits and pieces to
keep it going.
To his family members. And then my dad, I get to see how he was able to build on his father-in-law's legacy. And I know I joke with him now because my dad's a banker and he's like, what are you doing what are you doing down there in Louisiana? Like, why are you there? What are you, why are you called to be there? What, what's going on? And I joke with him, like, well, it's your fault because you're the one that really started building on the legacy. I'm just trying to continue in your footsteps. Because I got to see it with my grandfather, then I got to see it with my father and what he did for his in-laws, whether that was, and not only just for his in-laws, but he's done it for his family as well. But a spirit of giving, a spirit of building community, a spirit um, of self-sacrifice for the greater good. Those were what I was raised in. I was raised in those things. I was raised in those moments. And then, as my grandparents got a little bit older, they wanted to make sure that we always said, the thing that they say is, Lord spare down here. And I kind of I would say Lord willing, but that was one of the things that my grandfather and my grandmother always said, all these what ifs, they only happen if God allows it.
That's right.
And so always acknowledge in that way, Lord willing, Lord spare, I'll do this. Lord willing, it'll happen.
Okay. So we'll circle back to that too. So you had this moment with your grandfather, sophomore, junior year, or junior, senior year, right? He's sensing the aura around you. All right. So you closing out your college years and you saying like, all right, this NFL thing could be a thing. Okay. So you graduate and how does that work? Does that conversation with your grandfather start your faith journey, which leads into you getting drafted? Like, how does that, from that conversation to getting drafted, like how does, where were you doing? What were you doing in that time?
So to talk specifically about my faith journey during that time.
Leading up.
Like I said, that first, when I was growing up through high school, we went to church.
Yeah.
It almost felt like, we went to church, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like every Sunday we had to be in church. Or anything like that. Did we read the Bible? Did we do those things as a family? Yeah, we would do that. But you're a kid, so you're just gonna do what your parents tell you to do and follow what they got going on. And then once I got to college, our head coach, heavy Catholic.
Okay.
Heavy Catholic, and he wanted to make sure that was one of his missions. His coaching was a ministry to him. And you got your 5 F's.
Yeah.
We had the 4 F's. Right. That's awesome. So we had faith, family, future, then football. Wow. And he made that clear. Like that is the order of our principles in this program. Wow. We're gonna have a belief in something bigger than ourselves. Because it is still a school, so you can't always promote one specific religion or another. But we were as a team, everybody had to believe in something. Whether you believe in the team, whether you believe in the program, whether you believe in God, whatever that is, it had to be more than just self. Family. Either this is your new family and you're going to be all in, or you have your family, you have your support system, and you're still going to be all in with your new family. And future, because we're in college. We're in college, and this is the stepping stone to wherever it is that we're going to go. One of the things that we would joke about, or we joke about it now, but it was a recruiting pitch for us, was, when you go to Duke, you're making a 40-year decision. It's not just a 4-year decision, you're making a 40-year decision. With all the, great alumni benefits, networking and all that good stuff.
It's a real thing.
And so that was part of the recruiting pitch. And I hope they're still using it. I really do. Because, that football doesn't always last forever. So we have faith, family, future. You're investing in your future. You go to class, you do your work. As a team, we had a team GPA over 3.0 for, at least from my redshirt freshman year all the way to my senior year. And that was every semester. And if you didn't follow along, if you weren't part of the program, if you didn't, that was, that was going to cost you. So we had a team chaplain. His name was James Mitchell, and he was our player development. That's how his role kind of shifted and progressed. And he was the one that sat me down. I mean, from my freshman year to when I first stepped on campus till I ended my time at Duke. I mean, we still are in contact today. He works in New England now with the Patriots. Wow. But from my very first time on campus till I ended, he would sit me down in his office and he would ask me like 3 key questions. He would ask me about my faith. He would ask me about education, how I'm doing in class, and he made sure I wasn't losing my mind with the young ladies. That's real.
That's real for a young man.
That's real.
Yeah.
You're 18, 19 years
Yeah.
old, 20.
Yeah.
Those were the three things that he was focused on. He was worried
Yeah.
about my faith. He was worried about the education.
And you worry about women.
And don't lose your mind, young man.
That's
Don't
awesome.
lose your mind.
That is
And
awesome.
and throughout my college journey, just checking in with me, making sure that things are working. And then my redshirt sophomore year, my third year in college, he started leading me towards Christ and making sure that, hey, like, are you reading? So what are you reading?
Yeah.
How are you reading? What are you doing with your spare time? Is it productive? All right. So he buttered me up a little bit. He would keep it light, and we would joke, and we would do all the good things. But as I got older and my football also was, progressing, he wanted to make sure that my leadership
Everything was in a line. Yeah.
that my leadership was going in line as well. And he ended up leading me to Christ. He was a big Old Testament guy. You gotta read the old to understand the new.
Yeah.
If you don't read the old, how can you understand why we need something new? If you don't understand the old covenant, you don't want, so that was his thing.
Yeah.
So we would go through a lot of the Old Testament scriptures, prophecies. How does it match up with what's going on in the New Testament?
Yeah.
How does Jesus fulfill all these different different things that were said about him, foreshadowings, what the prophets were saying about him.
Yeah.
And it just was in my soul. It was in my soul like a rock. Whether that was James Mitchell, there was another youth minister named Greg Akimbe, who made sure that I went to Bible study. He was on campus, and I was dodging him a lot, a lot.
Yeah.
But he kept at me. He kept at me and said, "Come on, we got the FCA, we had the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and we do Bible study." I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday nights, and I know for 2 years I was dodging them. I was. There was, there were things that I thought were more important at the time.
Yeah.
And through as my faith developed, as I developed as a man, realizing that yes, all these old stories that I'm hearing from my grandparents, all these things that these lessons I got from my parents, this all happened before me, not because of me. This is all happening for me, and it happened before me, but it's not happening because I'm here.
Yeah.
Right. It's a bigger story.
Yeah.
So I, finally stopped dodging them and got into Bible study, weekly with FCA. I got two former teammates and friends that are, that were leading the Bible study at the time. Still doing, different faith-filled things around Durham. And that was the formation of my belief in my Christianity. And then, we can fast forward all the way to how that's led me into my life now with the work that I'm doing at Holy Family Catholic School.
Okay. All right. Well, I know people want to know. Let's finish your athletic career and let's close with that. So you get drafted. How did that go?
The draft was amazing. Draft was amazing.
And what year is this?
This is 2000. This is 2014.
Okay.
So that whole year, even going, we'll go all the way back to my redshirt junior year, to my fourth year. My fourth year on campus, I mean, I definitely was like, I was hot stuff. Like the team had just made its first bowl game in 25 years. I was playing at a high level. I was all conference, first team, all this other stuff. And there was a moment, a decision-making moment. Are you going to go pursue your dream in the NFL? Because I'd also just graduated.
Yeah.
So I graduated like a semester early or whatever. So I was done. I was done with my school requirements. Duke football is at a level that it hadn't been to in 25 years or so. And now I'm this all conference player. And so I remember coach, we're on the way, we're walking, we're just taking a team walk.
Yeah.
And he was, the head coach came up and was like, "Hey, what are you thinking?" And I was like, "Coach, like I'm gonna stay here. I want to see this all the way through." I was a captain on the team at the time. and things were really going well. But that was a chance to, that was one of those pivotal moments in life. So you fast forward to my last year. Um, Team is still rocking and rolling. We end up going 10-4 or whatever. We end up having the best year ever that Duke football has had. I hope that changes soon. But we end up having the best year ever, go to the ACC championship. We played Jameis Winston, who was, Heisman Trophy winner. They went on to win the national championship that year, Florida State. Played Johnny Manziel in the Peach Bowl. We were up 21, ended up losing that game. Yeah, tragic. I think we would have been on the map if we beat Johnny football.
Oh, yeah, it'd been different.
Oh, the program would have hit.
Yeah.
So I get drafted. I get drafted in the fourth round of 2004 in 2014.
Wow.
To the Buffalo Bills, and once again, I just was not. I guess it just took me physically longer to develop.
Yeah, facts.
Than I wasn't. I was a good enough athlete. I'm not gonna say I wasn't a good. I was a good enough athlete.
Yeah.
To compete at that level, to compete at the college level. Yeah. But it took a lot
developing years,
extra work.
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk about, I had to eat. My body just didn't hold weight.
Yeah.
So I had to stuff my face with anything. Pizza, just heavy stuff, just because my body wouldn't hold it. And I had to spend a lot of time in the weight room. And that was doing extra pull-ups, extra chin-ups, extra push-ups, extra, leg extension, hamstring curls, calf raises, whatever. It was just a lot of extra to make sure that my body was physically ready to go. My rookie year was
horrible.
Horrible. It was bad. It was really bad. It's like, there's 16 games at that time. It was 16 games, and I only dressed for 7 of them. I only dressed for 7, and here I am, this draft pick, and physically I wasn't ready to play. Mentally I wasn't ready to play, and it's professional football. These guys, every step matters, every snap matters, every play. So you as you're getting ready for the draft, as you're getting ready for the NFL, there's this bubble around you. Everything is all good. You're getting ready to go to the NFL. Everything is just about to be amazing. So, I was in California doing my, I was in like LA doing my combine training, and I'm sitting there with some hot names at the time, some early draft picks and things like that. And we're kind of just living in this fantasy world. Like, do we work hard? Yeah, we worked hard. You're in the weight room, you're doing the drills, but there's this aura of peace, and happiness that, hey, you guys are about to go live the dream. And I started to let that creep into me a little bit.
Yeah.
And then once I got drafted and realized how cutthroat this business really is, after the draft, all that la la land stuff is over with. It's done. It's time to get on the field and get to work. And these guys aren't playing. You got guys that have been, you got guys that are on the bubble. You got guys that have been 8, 9 years in the league, 5, 6 years in the league. This is how they feed their families. This is their lifestyle. You got to go take a grown man's job. That was our rookie symposium. Everything in our rookie symposium was you have to go out at 19, 20 years old, 21, 22 years old, however old, and go take this job of a grown man.
Take food off of somebody's plate.
You got to go take his food.
That's crazy.
And you better not feel bad about it either.
That's the part that, exactly.
There's only so many spots. There's not
wow, man.
The NFL team is not a land of milk and honey abundance for everyone. No, there's only so many spots.
Wow.
And everybody wants one. Everybody. All right. And they can pull a guy off the street that hasn't played in a year or two. They can do anything. Everybody's willing to try out and willing to give it a go. So you got to go take a grown man's job, and that's where that was new for me. I'm not supposed to care about people. It's not love and happiness and teamwork and camaraderie.
No, sir.
No, even within the team.
Yeah. Just do your job.
Just do your job and don't worry about anything else. Right. And that was brand new to me. So
that's a different perspective. As a fan, like, we say that, we say, like, we'll watch and we're like, oh, this guy got drafted. Like, he needs to work hard. He needs to play. But, like, we don't, the mentality of that, like, the atmosphere of that, like, we as fans, we don't live in that. Like, we probably think, oh, it's probably fun to compete. But, like, you don't really realize what you're doing. Like, you literally could make someone have to retire.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could force someone to stop doing what they love to do because of how good you are.
or
You know what I mean?
yeah, or how bad you're playing
Or how
too.
bad, yeah. You
And
know
so
what I'm saying?
this is
It's crazy.
this is a funny story. This is a funny inside story. So this is my rookie year. We have this receiver. He's a hot shot kind of receiver,
Yeah.
but he's on the downside of his career, and that ego monster's kind of taking over. So he's trying to refine himself. He's on a new team. This is my rookie year, and he's going up against me. And like I said, I wasn't ready to play, and we're in practice. So I'm holding, I'm doing all kinds of things that I'm not supposed to be doing. I'm a scout team player, practice squad basically player, um, and I end up hurting him because he's running a route, and I was holding
Being
him.
aggressive.
Yeah, and I'm just doing all the wrong things.
No way.
And I end up holding him, and he pulls his hamstring because like he's trying to get out of a break.
Trying to break. Yeah, trying to
He's trying to plant and get into a new route and get into a new branch of the route. And as I'm holding him and he does it, hamstring is gone. And that was the last we ever saw of his. And so that's when it hit for me that this thing
It's for real.
is serious. You can be, it doesn't matter how big of a star you are, it doesn't matter how many M's you got next to your name, it's gonna end at some point. Because this same receiver, midway through the year, we're talking October, November, when we were in training camp in July and August, he only would wear a pair of cleats once. Every practice, every game was a new pair of cleats. Every practice, every game. Right? It didn't matter. And that's the level and the status that he was at in July. And then in October,
Out of a job.
Hey,
that's wild.
Out of a job, right? And trying to get back in and doing, all kinds of different things to trying to, but it doesn't happen. And that is the other side of the game where it's cutthroat. And I think people realize how cutthroat it is. Like, because everybody makes jokes about the Patriots.
Yeah.
And they cut a player one week, then they bring him back the next week, then he's on the practice squad one week. Everybody makes those jokes.
But we don't, as a fan, we don't realize really the mental aspect that's going on in that though. We make a joke, but we don't. It's not no joke. You know what I'm saying?
It's no joke.
As for y'all, it is no joke. As a man that might have a wife and kids and trying to eke out a few more dollars before he has to live another 40 years on this earth. Anyway, I didn't want to cut you off.
But. No, that's it. And so so you just keep you just realize, for me at least, there was 2 moments my rookie year when I realized that football is fun, but this is a business too. And scholarship is no more. Right? You just you make good grades, you work hard in the weight room, and you go to practice and you don't mess up. Yeah, you're gonna be on scholarship.
Like with a scholarship, you can actually be excited for someone else to have a scholarship. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you're not supposed to be excited for someone to sign a contract, but in a way, like you need to be the one signing that contract. Like a scholarship, you're like, man, good job, man, you got your scholarship. But I never even thought about that. Like scholarship, you can kind of have this team-like mentality and encourage and be excited, but then you don't necessarily need to be excited when the guy in your position signs the contract and you don't.
The draft is probably one of the most stressful nights for NFL players.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's one of the most stressful nights. Yeah, it's a fun night, fanfare, all that. But for the guys in the league, that draft, especially those guys like me, who might be the 4th or the 3rd or the 5th corner on the team, by the end of my career, that's where I was. 3, 4, 5. Where I started my career, I was like, the 5th, 6th corner on the team. I really was on the bubble. I just, thank God I got drafted. Yeah. But every time someone gets drafted, and especially in those first 3, 4 rounds, that's one less spot for whoever's on the team now. And you know that without a shadow of a doubt. First round pick is going to have a spot. So if that first round pick is a receiver and you're the 6th receiver,
you ain't got a job.
It doesn't matter how good you play. It doesn't matter. None of that matters, because you're number 6, and they got their first 3, 4 already, and that's all they're gonna take. So you better go out there and show for everybody else around the league, because that spot is gone.
Pick me up.
You got to show them something. And then you're gonna have undrafted guys. You're gonna have. It's just so much real competition. and it happens so fast, and it's in such a physical way where faith has to come into play. It has to. In one way or another, you meet guys who, not everybody's a believer. Some people, they'll say they're atheists or whatever, but every single person has some degree of faith at that level. Whether that's a faith in myself, because you'll have some of that too. You'll have guys that are just, I believe in me more than anything else, right? No one's going to outwork me. No one. And I played with a guy, James Harrison. James Harrison was
he's unreal. I don't know him like you know him, but that's crazy.
I know just as much as you know. He is self-made. You can go through the stories, all that, but his self-belief was at a level I've never. I mean, it was at an unbelievable. There's a reason why he's going to the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Right. So he had everybody. Here's a quick story about him. And we can joke like he's really like legitimately 5'11". Right.
Really?
Legitimately,
but this man's thick then.
He's 5'11", about 270, full six pack, maybe, at that time he was like 38, 39 years old when I played with him and still was doing pull-ups and chin-ups with, 50 pounds loaded up on his back and a 45-pound plate in between his legs.
I've seen that video.
Right. So he's just doing unreal stuff. Yeah. But he had everybody in that locker room. When I got to Pittsburgh after getting cut from the Buffalo Bills, when I got picked up by Pittsburgh, you walk around, you're trying to feel what's going on. He would just walk around and ask people, how tall am I? Especially like the young guys like me or the rookies or whoever was new on the team. How tall am I? How tall am I? And you say, maybe like 5'11", 6 feet. Like, no, I'm 6'4". I'm 6'4". And he would go around to some of the other guys, some of the older players who were already established on the team or in the locker room, and say, how tall am I? Oh, you 6'4". It was not a question. That's how much I mean, right. That's
changing the reality.
Literally changing the reality. Like, I'm seeing you with my own eyes. I know. But in your mind, right, in his mind at that time, he has so much faith, so much belief. I don't know what his religious was, but in himself, there was no doubt. There was no doubt in my mind or in his mind that he was 6'4".
Yeah.
He even had me talk about, I guess he's 6'4". Man.
Hey, that's wild. Yeah,
I guess so.
But I don't know if I would ever go against him anyway. Yeah, even if I did believe him. But yeah, man, you good?
Right.
That's a big boy.
That's a big man.
Like you said, with a determined mind.
Determination off the charts. He would walk around and, at this point, he was already older. He was already on the Hall of Fame track and all this other stuff. So when you're in spring, like in OTAs in March and April, when they're doing some of these off-season type of deals, the guys who are already established, they're not always out there doing that because they know they got their own system in place. They got their own everything. Yeah. So he would come out to practice because you still had to be there and some other things. And he would come out there with these 2 big pit bulls on chains and just walk around and joke on us. He would see who was scared. And literally he just would, and he would speak to them in German and they would listen to him. And it was unbelievable. Just how much power he had and carried through his belief. Yeah. And then also to realize that it ends for everybody. Yeah. It ends for everybody. You can have all the power, you can be on top of the world. And that whole thing about gaining the world and losing your soul. Yeah. You can look at it for football players in particular, especially for NFL players.
You see a lot of stories like that.
The rate of bankruptcy, the rate of divorce, the rate of trying to find a new job or losing, the rates are through the roof. Yeah. We all gain the world, at 20, 21, 22 years old. Yeah. And the really, really strong-minded and faithful individuals are going to be that 10 to 15% who beat the odds. You're looking at about 80% of guys, bankruptcy, divorce, within 3 years of playing. Within 3 years of their last game. I'm sorry, within 3 years of the last game. Yeah, no, almost 80%. And so when you talk about the word being real and seeing it happen,
Yeah.
I've seen it even in my own life,
Yeah.
where dealing with my personal journey
Yeah.
and my transition out of the league, and realizing that my marriage isn't going to work. That this lady that I met at 17 isn't going to be the person I thought was my forever person at 32, 33. And realizing that you can be as prepared as you want to be, or I can be as
Yeah.
prepared as I want to be. I can do all the things that I think are right, to me.
Yeah.
And still, it's still not the answer. It's still not the answer. You still might just be a statistic. You still might just, be grouped into that 80% of people
Yeah.
who are doing all these XYZ things that you thought, or at least I thought, hey, I got a Duke degree. This can't happen to me.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Right.
Who
Like,
who you think you are?
yeah, who you think you're gonna find better than me?
Yeah.
Right? That ego thing.
Yeah.
I'm on top of the world. This is the NFL.
Yeah.
You gonna leave that? And sure enough, yeah, I am. I'm no better than nobody else. I'm no better than those 80% of guys. I'm doing the same thing, finding my way, going through divorce, getting through different things, and just like my sister would do, jumping hurdles. She's jumping hurdles on the track, doing the thing. She might be running right now, and I think she's in Poland, I think, right now. But she might be running some hurdles right now. And she'll share some words of wisdom with her big brother, saying, "Yeah, you better jump them hurdles in life too.
Come on.
Keep on going. Keep on going."
Come on. Okay. So kind of told us you hopped around in the league, from this team and that team. I'm sure that was quite an experience. But let's kind of wrap up the athletic career so we can circle back to what you're doing now. So you hop around a couple of teams and then you land on Tampa Bay in what year?
Yeah, so I got cut. I got cut after a year in Buffalo.
Yeah.
That was a tough, tough thing.
Yeah.
Realizing that I'm not good enough, and them telling you, "Hey, you're not good enough."
Yeah.
So I get cut. I get picked up by the Steelers. I'm in Pittsburgh for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and Coach Tomlin says, "Hey, we had a corner that went down. Our
Yeah.
starting corner went down." Coach Tomlin came up to me and was like, "Hey, you're going to be our third down cornerback.
Let's go.
You're in the game, and we're not going to have any fear." I mean, I have a lot of respect for Coach Tomlin all the way to this day. After 2 years in Pittsburgh, they traded me to the Giants. So right before I thought I had something established, something going. Hey, you got to go to New York. I played 1 year in New York with the Giants. It was a rough year. Everybody got fired. All their coaches got fired. Everyone was a fire sale. Ended up signing a contract after that year and played 2 years for the Carolina Panthers.
Awesome.
First year of that contract, broke my legs. Literally, both bones in my lower leg gone. I mean, just cracked in half. Somebody fell on me, just hit the right spot.
Yeah.
But it goes to show you like how God always has a plan, and God always has a plan. And the way that my bones broke, it was a pretty simple repair. The repair was simple. The rehab was not simple at all.
Yeah.
But it was such that it wasn't like the guy who did my surgery was like, hey, he did surgery on paratroopers that were jumping off of helicopters and airplanes. He's like, some of these guys, they shatter everything, and there's millions of pieces of bone that you got to put together. With yours, it was just a clean cut, and he could just drive the nail right through.
Okay.
To put it back together.
My brother's gonna love that one.
Yeah, so my first year, broke my leg. Rehab was, just went crazy with the rehab. Hired a personal trainer. I was on blood thinner shots. My wife at the time was giving me shots every single day to make sure that I wasn't, getting clots and things like that. My next year, I play is going well. But hey, they signed. They ended up going in a different direction. So my last 2 years, I end up going down to Tampa Bay. This is 2020, right?
Okay.
This is 2020 COVID.
Oh, wow.
So COVID hits in March. I have no job, no nothing. I'm just sitting at home working out.
Wow.
And COVID hits, and I'm like I'm doing a Brazilian, I'll be real. It's called Brazilian butt lift video.
Okay.
So it's
Not
all
expecting that
it
one.
was yeah. So it's like all these different movements because I'm in the house,
Got you.
right? And you got to do like lunges and
Oh yeah.
squats
Okay.
and
I guess what
calf
you're saying.
raises
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Just
all
hitting your
those
body a
things.
different way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so hitting my body a different way. And I'm like doing that video like 2 or 3 times a day. Just whenever, because I
Yeah. Yeah.
mean everybody was sitting at home.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at home without a job though. And like, hey, how do I get back in the league? So Tampa ends up calling me in September of the COVID year of 2020
Okay.
and says, hey, well, I'll back up. The Giants called me. They wanted me to sign. And this is like in July, August. And I'm like,
Didn't
the
like the money. I know. You can say it. Didn't like the money. I'll say it for you. I'll say it for you. Continue.
right? I mean, for the role y'all want me to take and what y'all saying
Yeah,
is
yeah.
not matching up.
That's right.
It's not matching
I
up.
know
Y'all
what's
tell me
going.
y'all want me to be a starter, but y'all
I
I don't know.
understand.
So right. So that didn't work out. That didn't work out.
Understand.
I flew up there for a day. They yelled at me, and then I flew back.
Yeah.
Right. And Tampa ends up calling 2 or 3 weeks later, and it's
Wow.
like, hey, we got a practice squad open. We gotta,
Yeah.
you can try out for the practice squad.
Yeah.
And in the NFL, you have the active roster, which is like 53, 55 players.
Yeah.
And then you have another 10 to 15 players that are on this practice squad that can go in between,
Yeah.
playing in games
100%.
or not. So they said, hey, we got a practice squad position open, but you got to try out. So it's me and like 2 other guys. And I mean, that's the thing about the NFL, and competition
It's
everywhere.
always competing. Yeah.
Always, always, always. So thank
Best
God.
bang for their buck.
Best bang for you, and thank God for my family. I was used to
Yeah.
competition.
That's right.
So I end up getting the practice squad spot, and I'm excited about that. I'm already living in Florida at the time. I was living
Yeah.
in Fort Lauderdale. That's a 3-4 hour drive. That's easy. I can make that.
God's providence all over that,
all,
man.
all over it, all over it. And it's like I get to play with the GOAT. Oh,
Who's the GOAT?
I don't get to play with Tom Brady.
All right. Just making sure you know who that
Yeah,
is.
come on now.
Yeah.
7
That's
rings.
pretty cool.
And it was a no-brainer. The opportunity was all the way around.
Yeah.
You guys are going to offer the opportunity. I'm willing to go and work my butt off. At the time, I was riding my bike to practice. I just was at that. I'm going to outwork everybody again.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So I was riding my bike to practice. I'm getting there like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, watching extra film, trying to see what I can do to move from practice squad to the active roster. I was meeting with the defensive coordinator at the time, Coach Bowles. I mean, we would meet at 6 in the morning to go over because I'm coming to the team late, right? They've already had OTAs. They already had spring. They already had camp. They already had all this time together as a team. And now here I am being dropped in on the practice squad. So how do I go from practice squad player to contributor on the team and or starter if that's what they need? So I'm meeting with the coach, the defensive coordinator, like 6 a.m. to learn the defense. We're watching extra film. We're going through breakdowns, how he sees things. And lo and behold, I mean, that defense that year, Devin White.
It was unreal.
It was unreal. Everybody around here will recognize.
Tom's good, but y'all had talent all over the place.
We had talent everywhere. So, so Devin White, LSU, top 5 pick at that time.
Pierre-Paul, old man, but he was still doing his thing.
Pierre-Paul, best athlete I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Not even close. It's not even close. I mean, at that time, he was already at like year 12 or year 13. When we got to the playoffs, he didn't even practice. He just went to the games.
Let's go.
It was just game time.
Stay ready.
Stay ready. Right?
Because keep him healthy, keep him energized.
Keep him healthy, keep him energized. His knees, his ankles. He had all kinds of. Everybody can go through and see his history. He had all kinds of stuff going on. But when you got on the football field Sunday night or Sunday whenever, unblockable. And especially that year, that playoff run for our defense, we got a corner, Sean Murphy-Bunting. I mean, and people will remember this around here. This was Drew Brees. Drew Brees was going to the Super Bowl. The Saints were the NFC champions that year. They beat us twice, once in Tampa, once in New Orleans. They had that receiver, Michael Thomas, who was good. That was before he signed his big contract, and he was balling. And so that was, I mean, everybody thought the Saints were going to then. That was Drew Brees' last year. That was the year the Saints were supposed to go, that COVID year. Defense was all on point, everything. So that year, we're in the playoffs. The Saints have already beat us twice. We're a wild card team. We got to go play. We got to go play Taylor Heineke in the Washington. I think they were the
Yeah.
Commanders at that
Yeah.
time. I'm not sure. So we got to go play the Commanders. Sean Murphy Bunting catches a pick, changes the game, because we were kind of in a battle.
Yeah.
We come in second game. Second game, we got to go up to Lambeau Field. We're playing Aaron Rodgers, and that's another. The Green Bay Packers were a legitimate team,
Yeah.
still a legitimate team. They're always a powerhouse club. So hey, we go play Aaron Rodgers and Sean Murphy Bunting another pick at the end of the half, changes the game. We end up winning that game. Come down to New Orleans. Defense is rolling. Like, we got Tom Brady. Offense is doing his thing. Leonard Fournette. We have playoff Lenny going on at that time. Another, LSU top 5 pick. Sean Murphy Bunting catches a pick against Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Changes the game again.
Remember that, yeah.
We ended up catching like 4 or 5 picks after that.
That's right.
Right. And that was the last you heard of Drew Brees. Shout out to the Saints though. We're in the boot.
No doubt.
And then we go on to the Super Bowl and we blow out the Chiefs, right? And that's after the Chiefs had beat us. They had scored. They had beat us earlier that year too. Yeah. Tyreek Hill had like 3 touchdowns in the first half. Yeah, they went up on us big.
Yeah, but y'all shut that down quick.
We shut that down quick.
So, become Super Bowl champion.
Long story
short, I'm pretty sure that was a good experience, right?
Oh man. Oh, come on. The boat parade,
all that
the city showing out.
Well, with it, we're kind of running short on time, but give us your best or your most remembered Tom Brady story. And then now that you're, I guess you can say, retired football player, after that, lead us into what you're doing right now,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I guess the best Tom Brady story I have,
if you have one.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy. I mean, it's just one of the things is that he was just a genuine guy.
Yeah.
That's really the best story I can say is that you go like you'll be surprised, like that ego monster. Some guys are just unapproachable. Right? You can't talk to them in the locker room. 100%. You can't do anything around them. Yeah. He just was genuine. Hey, I see this, I see you're doing this. Maybe try doing this. Yeah. The quarterback's gonna see you. You're tipping off over here, and he would approach you with different things. It wasn't like you had to come to him.
Go get him.
No, he would come to you. He really was a team guy. He would have, like I said, some of these guys have their own, training staffs and all kinds of stuff. He had his own complex, right? But that complex was open to anybody that wanted to go. Wow. Right? You want to go to TB12 and get some extra work and get some recovery and do your thing. Go on over to TB12. It's open to everybody. It wasn't just from, it's for him, but he was a quality, genuine team guy. And when you talk about discipline,
unmatched.
A regimen, everybody, you better know your role. You better know your role and you better do it. Right. And so I know all the coaches, every coach, every backup quarterback, every single person has something that they had to do every week. Now that's not easy to do, but it got us to the Super Bowl and got us close to the Super Bowl the year after.
That's right. Awesome, man. Well, cool. Well, with that as the close of your athletic career, but your faith has played an important role throughout your athletic career, right? And from what I know is your faith is really carrying you into what you're doing now. I know you said you were married, so obviously I guess that means you're not, right? And then you're in Louisiana now, full time. So to kind of wrap it up, kind of share with us, that journey of, going through that separation and now where are you working, where you're at now in Louisiana?
Yeah, so I'll start with how seeds were planted that I didn't even know were happening. So Louisiana has always been in my heart, in my soul. I've always had a calling to be here. So as I was playing in the league, there were certain, charitable causes that I attached myself to, or was called to, and one of them was Holy Family, Holy Family Catholic School, right off of St. John Street, St. John and Cameron, right at the corner there.
Northside Lafayette. People you don't know.
Northside, we're out here now.
Yeah.
Upper Lafayette, as some people would say.
That's the more proper thing to say.
Yeah, north side till you die, though. So Holy Family is coming along. Holy Family. My mom was a Holy Family alum. My uncles, my aunts, Holy Family alum. It was St. Paul at the time. It was a St. Paul school. So I have some family members that are going there. And lo and behold, they're trying to raise money for a gym.
Yeah.
And this is 2015, 2016. They get in contact with me and say, "Hey, we're raising money for a gym. Uh, what's possible? What can you do? Come down here, tour the school,
Yeah.
meet the people, and realize like, yeah, this is a place I want to be attached to." So it was me and Acadian Ambulance, Richard Zuslag, the
R.I.P.
CEO,
Richard.
RIP the Big Z,
Yeah.
and his son Blaze. We organized, we got together, and we decided to partner up and make the initial seed donation for the gym.
That's awesome.
And that's 2018, around that time.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, that was really just the beginning of my relationship with Holy Family, or that God was really planting a seed of faith that was going to
Yeah.
carry me through a really difficult time in my life, whether that's the loss of football or the
Yeah.
loss of my marriage.
Yeah.
And that seed was planted when I'm on top of the world, right? And feeling like there's nothing that can touch me, nothing that can stop
Yeah.
me. And we start this partnership. Thank God, we end up 3 years later, we end up cutting the ribbon. The bishop comes, cuts the ribbon for the new gym in the middle school. So we added about 8 new classrooms, and got about a 3,000 square foot building done. And I mean, you can say what you want to say, but the Catholic Church made that investment before anybody else was making investments, infrastructure wise, on that side of town.
Yeah.
Before the new 100 Black Men,
Yeah.
before they built their stuff, before the for LCG
Yeah.
built the new early education center in Truman, before the government, before private investment, the Catholic Church came in and said, "Hey, we're going to
That's
make
awesome.
this possible." So you have a $5-6 million investment infrastructure going in, and what a lot of people would think is a dilapidated, city, a dilapidated part of the city.
100%.
So you fast forward, we're going, 2020 rolls around, or 2021 rolls around. I'm now looking for something to do after football, because football is done. I always had this calling towards Louisiana.
Louisiana, yeah.
Come back. I'm messing around on the farm a little bit with my uncle and a couple other family members,
Yeah.
seeing what we can do there to kind of restart that family history, that family generation. But as that was getting worked out, I kept getting calls. "Hey, come around, Holy Family, come be around, come see what's going on."
Yeah.
You can't have that much to do on the farm, right? You can't be doing that much. And that's just God's providence.
Yeah.
And realizing that this seed that I thought that I was giving to was actually giving to me.
Yeah.
Right. And it comes around full circle, and it's come around in a big way when I was in a big transition from the loss of my job and in
Yeah.
my relationship status.
Yeah.
And realizing that God always has a plan, whether you're high or low.
Yeah.
At your highest high, your lowest
Yeah.
low.
My boy Deontay Spencer, who was one of your peers in the NFL, he would say God always circles back. That's his thing. GCB, God always circles back. So that's awesome, man. So you're planted in Carencro, Lafayette, Louisiana now, full time.
I'm planted here. I'm one of the development directors with Miss Monica Johnson, and Patty Wilson as well.
Okay.
We do that. We are the engine that tries to keep the show running behind the scenes. Whether that's contacting parents, making
Yeah.
sure that all paperwork and documents are filled out.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're raising money all the time, because we're a private school.
Yeah.
We're built off of donations. We're built off of our tuition. We're built off of people seeing what the Catholic Church means in our community, how strong it is. You can go anywhere. You can go anywhere in the country. Black Catholics there's more Black Catholics here in Louisiana, specifically in Lafayette, than anywhere else in the
nation.
country.
Yeah, that's right.
There's more, And when you talk about the history of the Catholic Church, the first Black priests were here in Lafayette, Louisiana, at Immaculate Heart.
Man, that was his history.
The SVDs, right? The
Yep.
very first, and were educated in the Bay, Bay St. Louis, and brought to Lafayette. So the Catholic Church breaking down barriers. Not to say that hey, nobody's perfect, We're made up of the body of
No,
Christ, which is made up of people.
that's correct. And what you're highlighting is, yes, Catholic Church may be one of the most scrutinized organizations in the world, but at the same time, it has done or has tried to do its part in generosity. But we're not going to sit here and say they're perfect. We're not going to sit here and say they haven't made mistakes and egregious mistakes. But there is something to highlight for some of the things you're saying. There are some of the first people to show aid, to reach out, to extend an olive branch in our area, in some of our most underprivileged areas as well. So yeah, man, and I think that's really unique that you're saying that because you're not from here. You're not from here. You're from South Carolina.
North Carolina.
No, North Carolina. I'm sorry, originally from North Carolina. You know what I mean? So I feel like you have a fresh perspective that you can bridge these two opposing views, maybe, or opposing perspectives, or opposing locations, however you want to phrase that. But I think I kind of knew this before you shared it today, but I just want to continue to encourage you to do that and highlight that because look, I'm from here. I know how narrow-minded some of our people can be and our community can be. So you to come here and shed the light on the truth of history and the truth of the generosity of the Catholic Church and of all people is pretty awesome. I didn't want to cut you off, but I did want to interject that. And I also want to, encourage people, if they want to help Holy Family, they want to be a part of what you're building there with the school and the community to reach out to you. And as I say that, how could they reach out to you?
Well, the best way to reach out, especially if you are concerned about Holy Family and what we got going on, because we do have some
Yeah,
good things going on, right?
yeah,
So we got a new principal, Loretta Williams Duran. She's coming over from Scott from Burke.
yeah,
Um, she is, one of the things that she's big on, extra tutoring.
yeah,
Extra tutoring, getting parents involved, right? So she's revamped some things to make sure that our kids are getting all the extra that they need, right?
yeah,
Whether that's English, math, and getting the Title I. We got all kinds of stuff going
yeah,
on there. One of the things that I've been charged with is keeping Holy Family relevant and
yeah.
current. So I'm thankful for your show, Dustin. I am. I'm thankful for the platform and being able to
Yeah,
express and show not only what I have going on personally, my personal testimony, but also to promote what a deep cause, a
yeah.
deep purpose in my life, which is Holy Family was the original No Child Left Behind.
Come on.
You want to talk about, yeah, George Bush started that in 2000 and all this other stuff, but the Sisters of the Holy Family came over from New Orleans, and they started specifically to take care of children of children of slaves.
Yeah, yeah.
To be real,
That's real.
right? They
Yeah.
came over specifically
To
to
teach.
to
Yeah,
educate children of slaves and to give health care to the elderly.
yeah,
Two things that we think the government is supposed to do, or other
yeah. Entities.
entities are supposed to do. These free women came
Yeah,
over and decided that they were going to take on all of that before the Black Panther Party, before any of these other social programs.
yeah.
The church, and specifically this group of nuns, these group of sisters, came in to make sure that all our needs and services were taken care of. And that's just because what of the goodness of their heart
That's
and the
right.
goodness of God that was in them. So
Yeah.
people will go ahead.
No, no. Say amen. Yeah. No, amen. Well, with that being said, I like to ask, people that when they come on here about your life. I mean, I know you're a son, you're a brother, you're, a leader in the community and whatnot. What is one thing you want to leave everybody with? I like for people to kind of share whatever it is, a motto or a saying. Like as we close up, you know, with your ties to Holy Family and whatnot, what is something you want people maybe to know your story by, or something that can help them in their story?
I mean, yeah, one of the things I shared a little bit earlier, but
Yeah,
just keep going. Keep going.
yeah,
God does make the Lord, Jesus, whatever you
yeah,
want to call your faith
yeah,
being,
yeah,
your Trinity
yeah,
will make a way every single time. And one of my favorite verses comes from Psalm 23. That's my favorite, that's my favorite psalm. But the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And that has meant so many different things in my
yeah,
life at so many different stages, especially like when I mean, just the living word of God and
yeah,
realizing that that one verse, one phrase, whatever your favorite verse or phrase is,
Yeah.
it's going to hit differently in different seasons of your life.
Amen.
You know, that same word, it really does evolve and change as mine or yours
Right.
growing or understanding, maturity, seasons of life as they change. The word lives and grows with you. So that's my thing. The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want. And then, I mean, I can go through the whole thing, but
I
that's
completely
my thing.
understand. Well, man, I appreciate you, Ross. Thank you for your bravery, your courage to kind of share your testimony and your love and your mission that you feel, God has placed in your heart and in your life. And so, man, again, thank you. I appreciate it, and maybe I'll see you again.
Definitely gonna see me again. We gotta hit
I
Jet
know.
one time.
We're gonna get Jet. Don't worry. Let's plug that. Thank you, man.